passionate, she's fun, and she's inspiring. Let's welcome our host, Kimberly, from Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel's Web Summit, and a warm welcome to you. Thanks for joining us, and we've got an exciting guest coming right up. Kimberly, take it away.
Well, hello, folks. It's Kimberly Hopshed from Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel and the Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel Web Summit. I'm excited. We have our next speaker up, and we're not done for the day. It's 6 p.m. and we're going until 9 tonight. Like our last speaker, I think, is at 8, and so we got tons of stuff. I might be the last speaker. I have no idea. We're going to see what happens with that. But it's going to be awesome. We have tons of stuff to talk about and lots more content for you. So we're really glad you're joining us for this ride. It's going to be super fun. But actually, we have some news. So John Kovach, I hope I said that right. Did I say that right? Kovach is the president of Amplified Minds and founder of Champion Circle, and he's going to talk to us about the 4 irrefutable laws of high performance and accountability. Welcome to the program, John.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. Man, I've been so pumped and excited for this for a while. In fact, as I was reaching out and celebrating this and posting it online and inviting my friends to come, I actually ran into quite a few people who already knew you, and they said, oh, that's Kimberly's thing. So I've been so pumped and excited to invite our friends to this event and just have a really great time to share some awesome content.
Awesome. I'm super excited you're here. That's great. And yeah, actually, the first time I did it, I had a really weird experience where we were kind of, I did it with my mastermind group. And so everybody advertised it for me, but everybody was already friends with the people who they were already friends with. So like people were saying they got it 11 times. They got the announcement 11 times. So since then I've branched out, and now I have all these other groups of people that I'm involved in. But every once in a while I hear that, somebody got hit 2 or 3 times by the same email. So that happens. Sometimes it's a little incestuous, but thank you for the feedback on that. You're awesome, John.
Absolutely.
Hey, I want to take this a little bit differently because you and I were talking in the green room right beforehand, and you really have some very relevant news to the COVID update. And I know everybody's been talking about it, and we don't know really where to go with it. Lots of people are disappointed to be in their homes. Lots of people are like, no, this is an opportunity. Lots of people don't know what to make of it. And you actually have an experience to share. And do you mind sharing that with the group?
I don't mind at all. In fact, I would think that this is a very relevant, I almost said relevant as well. Serious note, but a lot of us are trying to figure out who we know that's experienced COVID-19 or has come down with it. And this past week, I unfortunately had the experience of where I had an uncle, 45-year-old healthy male with no underlying health issues, pass away. They ended up taking him off of the ventilators, and he ended up passing last Tuesday this week from COVID-19. And this is very interesting, and I'm happy to share this story because a lot of people are saying things. There's this dialogue that the older generation are at risk, and yes, they are, but nobody is immune to this, and it's really, really interesting. The other thing I wanted to share about it is a lot of us are hunkering down and we're trying to wait out the storm. But as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and I hope and I think that this has been an overlying message that's been carried through conversation to event to speaker in this summit, which is don't hunker down and wait out the storm, because as soon as the storm's over, we're going to live in a completely different world. And
you're not wrong. That's totally true. I love it. You got it right away, right out of the gate. # you're not wrong. Okay, so I totally agree with that. Tell us more.
Yeah, and I just wanted to tell everyone that this is a very sad moment for my family, the Kovach family. But I was reached out to by hundreds of people to spread the awareness, and I was so grateful for that. In fact, one of the most positive things that's come from it is my uncle passing, leaving behind his wife, 4 kids, including a 2-year-old baby, which is super sad. But the great thing is the community rose together and they rallied behind this family and raised over $20,000.
Wow.
In 24 hours to support my aunt. And I'm just so grateful for that. And so my advice, and I just wanted to raise awareness to you guys, anyone can get it, and everyone is susceptible to it. And so just stay safe and stay ready and prepared. Come out of this knowing that the world's going to be a different place, but it's going to be a great place. We just got to get through this together. So I'm pumped and excited to share that message with you. I'm humbled and honored to share the life of my uncle. And so thank you for that opportunity, Kimberly.
My well, not my pleasure, but my pleasure, right? Actually, if there's a link of a fundraiser and you want to throw that in the chat box, I would be happy to promote that for you. And we can do that in Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel as well. We'd love to support your aunt. And what did you say? A child? How old?
They have a 2-year-old child.
Oh my gosh, little tiny thing. Oh, what a shocker, right? A healthy younger-ish male, right? I don't know, like some people in their 20s wouldn't consider that young, but I do. So, because I'm not in my 20s anymore. But yes, so that's and people do say, oh well, it's for the older people or the older generation or whatever. Or they think that young kids are immune, and that's not necessarily true. It's just not. And it is a scary disease, and a lot's going on. And we try to talk about recoveries because there are a lot of those, and stay positive. But when it affects like people that we know, like what a shocker. So thank you very much for all the comments and sympathies and kindnesses in the chat. We definitely appreciate that. If you want to throw your link in the chat, that would be great. But what we're going to do is let us know who you are and where you're dialing in from. Because John is here and he's in a really, really good mood. One of our most positive speakers yet. Super excited to have him here, and he's got a great message to talk to us about, and he's going to help us with the 4 irrefutable laws. That means totally indisputable, absolutely guaranteed, gonna happen, of high performance and accountability. I love it. I love where you're going with this. So fantastic. And he's got a really, really great offer for us as well. And a really good gift. So let's kick it off. Tell us a little bit about how you show up in the world, who you are, and your why story, how you got to be so well acquainted with these 4 irrefutable laws, if you will.
Thank you so much. And man, I'm pumped to share this message. This is nothing new. These are things and principles that everyone has adopted and had picked up throughout their life. And I happen to get to know these things really, really well as I failed and got up and failed and got up again and kept trying. And then I found myself in a place where I started achieving high levels of performance. Let me tell you a little bit about where I've come from. I'm just a regular kid with ADHD from Fort Collins, Colorado. And at age 12, I began my entrepreneurial journey. I started by my mom and I actually picked up some vending machines, and we started this vending machine business at age 12. And I went around and I delivered vendor gifts and treats to a bunch of corporate offices. At age 14, I started my very own business, and I did what every other 14-year-old does, which is mow lawns, okay? And then at age 16, I got bored of that. So I decided, what do I do now? I hate going to proms and socials where they don't play the right music. Might as well just DJ it myself. So I got into DJing as a 16-year-old young man, ended up putting 3 local DJs out of business in our area. But I ended up doing the proms, weddings, parties, social gatherings. I even did an 80-year-old's birthday party. And it was so much fun. And then I got into this idea of, well, I know how to make money, so now let's use that to help people, because I really liked being in an environment where I could learn and help people. At age 21, I started a microfinancing business, and then I've just delved deeper into communications, and that's kind of where my track went to as I went to college, as I graduated with a bachelor's degree in public relations, and really set myself up for a lot of opportunity to network with the world's best and most respected professionals. But the thing is I needed to learn how to speak the talk, or talk the talk, sit eye to eye and face to face with these individuals. And so my why has always been curating experiences and teaching people about how they can achieve higher levels of performance within their life, whether they're working the 9 to 5 or they're an entrepreneur or they want to become an entrepreneur, because it's just been super fun to watch my journey as I failed, picked up and tried again, failed and picked up and tried again. And I've learned so much. So I'm really excited to share the irrefutable laws, because they are things that are going to absolutely guarantee, indisputably going to give you the things and tools and systems you need to overcome your challenges and launch. So I'm super pumped about it.
Well, Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel is all about launching, so I love that. Okay, great. So let's talk about, shall we start with the irrefutable law number 1?
Let's do it.
All right.
law number one, and I think this is the most important foundational law. And by the way, we are giving you a gift at the end of this. You can see those in the chat section where you can download a copy of this and just understand where we're going. You can do it now and learn a little bit more as we follow along.
Oh, do you want me to put it in there? Because they can't see that part of the chat, so I can throw that in there. You want them to have it now or at the end?
It's okay. They can follow along, but here are the 4 laws, and I'll give it to you really simply.
Okay.
Irrefutable law number 1 is based on the principles of personal accountability. Now, personal accountability is something that we're all familiar with. I call it ownership. I call it integrity. And then I also call it discipline. And a lot of people, especially in the world, let's just look at Wall Street for a second. Wall Street thinks of accountability as doomsday. Let's hold that person accountable. It's such a negative topic. Let's make these people suffer, right? But accountability isn't that. Accountability is ownership. And some of the things that give me joy is the ownership of things, the ownership of my time, balance, my assets, everything that I own gives me joy. And so a lot of us need to think of our habits, our discipline, and our personal integrity, the stuff we tell ourselves we're going to do and then actually keep to it and hold to it. That law allows us to set the standard for how we live our life. I say to myself every day, I refuse to, and I fill in the blank with a bunch of affirmations. I refuse to do things that make me this. And then I talk to people about how I am the kind of person, I talk to myself in third person. I say, John is the kind of person that does X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
This standard, and he holds himself to this personal accountability system so that he achieves higher levels of performance. And this goes towards anything: goal setting, visions, building a business, as simple as, I'm going to make sure I brush my teeth twice a day. Whatever it is, you need to be able to hold yourself accountable by saying, I own this. And ownership is so much more powerful. It's definitely more empowering than feeling like, oh man, I'm responsible. Because when you compare ownership versus responsibility, accountability versus responsibility, there's a difference. There is an absolute difference.
Okay, so responsibility and accountability have sort of a bad name out there, right? That like holding people accountable means like we're gonna pin them down and like make them squeal, right? Like we're gonna be like, it was up to you and you failed us, right? And or you failed, or you said you would and you didn't, or whatever. And that's sort of that accountability, when you have accountability partners and you're trying to squirm out of it, that kind of feeling to accountability is so negative. But it's an irrefutable law, and if it's an irrefutable law, it doesn't have to be negative. It can be positive and taking ownership for something instead. So ownership of your habits, ownership of your mindset, ownership of how you're showing up in the world. Does that sound right?
Absolutely. You nailed it.
Love it. I learned fast. All right. So, and I do. I remember when we were talking about this first, I was like, accountability. Yep. Accountability meetings. And I have to tell you, this is, now we're going to segue, because I seriously, like, accountability is like my least favorite word, but all of my students love accountability meetings. Like, they love them. They're like, I need accountability. I need to be held accountable. But if you try to hold me accountable, I will squirm out of it every time and then explain to you why I didn't really need to do that in the first place. It's like, it's the antithesis of helpful for me. Like, if you don't hold me accountable, I'll probably do it anyway. Or if you tell me I can't do it, I will definitely do it. But if you tell me I was supposed to, and I told you I would, and now what have I done? I'll be like, I don't know. I don't even think I want to do that anymore. No, I don't think I'm going to. No, now I've changed my mind. It's like, does not work at all for me. So when you said accountability, when you first were on there, I was like, ooh, this is going to not go well for me. But not that it doesn't go well for everybody else. It doesn't. When you changed it to the mindset and the ownership of it and the positiveness of it, because you are such a positive person, John. When you changed it to that, I was like, sign me up. This is totally right. I completely agree with this. So that's just my 2 cents. I don't know if anybody, like, can you give me a hell yeah on that? Or actually, I just love accountability, and please give me carrots to chase after, or any of that stuff. Whatever you want to throw in the chat, just interact with us, because it's getting late on a Friday night. And I know a lot of you guys have date nights tonight, but we're hanging out with you. Our date is with you guys. All right. Our date is with each other. That's what we're doing tonight on our Friday night. All right, so throw something in the chat that gives us an indication that there's life out there and you guys are paying attention. All right, so irrefutable law number 1 is accountability, or do you rephrase it a different way?
I phrase it as personal accountability.
Okay. Yep.
As your value system, what you say you will do and how you do it.
Okay. All right. Awesome. What's do you want to talk more about that one, or are we moving to irrefutable law number 2?
Irrefutable law number 2. I'm going to make this as simple as possible for those of you following at home. And by the way, before we segue into that, I just want to say you all look beautiful and amazing tonight in your PJs as we are out here on date night, Friday night, date night together.
I love it. That's awesome.
Everybody. So there we go. I'm so happy and pumped to be here with you all on this Friday night. So moving on to irrefutable law number 2.
Oh, John, yeah, you're. I'm glad that they said that. They actually said your voice is low. So it was actually low before, then it came on real strong, and now it's low again. So I don't know. Do you actually have the crisp microphone, like the crisp install? Because it may be trying to filter out some background noise. Let's hear it now.
How does this sound? I got the blue snowball.
I love it. I have the black snowball, but I'm not using it tonight. But this is mine.
Hey, to all of you listening at home, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Now you should hear me better now.
Yep, totally can. Better. All right.
All right, so irrefutable law number 2, keeping it simple. We talked about personal accountability because after all of this, you will have learned how to hold yourself accountable. Kimberly is an incredible personal accountability partner to herself because she says, I'm going to do it because I said I'm going to do it, dang it. And she does. And she does it absolutely irrefutably by herself, and she can. So that's the system we need to learn. And before we get into 2, I just wanted to share that as we've developed this kind of program and have identified the positivity behind accountability, at one point, we were coaching about 400 sales individuals on the personal accountability system. And week to week, day to day, these individuals were achieving 98.5% of their goals, all of the goals.
Wow.
And I can't but help ask the question, imagine yourself as we go through the next 3 irrefutable laws very, very quickly and very simply. Imagine what you could achieve if you achieved 98.5% average or more of all the goals you set. So just keep that in mind. That is super, super empowering. And we've seen that kind of success with people who take ownership and positivity under their personal accountability values. So number two is peer-to-peer accountability. P2P, peer, P-E-E-R, peer-to-peer accountability. This is where you take upon yourself a personal accountability partner. Right? You reach out to a friend, someone who you trust, someone who knows you well, someone who's going to hold you responsible to the commitments, and then you're going to actually rely on each other regularly. I say daily, some people go weekly. I'm intense that way, but I need that accountability every day through a check-in. Some of my favorite check-in accountability platforms are Marco Polo,
that's a good one. Yeah, I wish I had an affiliate link for that. Okay, Marco Polo, real quick, is actually a voicemail app, but it's a visual voicemail. So you leave, like, you don't actually talk to the person. You just record and you go, hey, it's Kimberly. I just wanted to leave you a message. I have done A, B, and C. I haven't done D. I'm going to do this. Next week, I'm planning this, blah, blah, blah. Thanks very much. Goodbye. And then you hang up, and then it goes to them, and it's not like, it doesn't take up your time to talk and small talk or anything. You just give it to them, and they get the video, and then they can record a video back to you. And it's super cool. I love it.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And it's the way I keep in contact with my clients and with my friends, and my accountability partners always checking in with me daily on the same time. So accountability partner is basically what we're talking about, peer-to-peer accountability. When you've identified your personal accountability system, how you're going to hold yourself accountable, and then you bring someone into the mix, you've exponentially grown the opportunities to which you will achieve your goals. Just somebody who you can hold yourself responsible to reporting to, and then vice versa. I think accountability is a two-way thing. You need to hold each other accountable and keep each other responsibly committed to everything that you've committed to.
Question on that. So I have found, and one of the reasons that I don't like accountability partnership, or I take that back. I do like it. I just don't personally subscribe to it as much as some other people personally subscribe to it. That's about the easiest way I can say that.
Yep, absolutely.
Actually, if I've participated in it, and I know other people get huge benefit out of it, so I don't knock it. But for me personally, I just haven't gotten the benefit out of it, and I don't use it in a very effective way as other people do. And it's primarily because I have a belief that it's really all about, okay, well, I'm going to show up and then I'm going to give you my shit and you're going to buy it. And then you're going to give me your shit and I'm going to buy it. And we call it a day. Like there's no actually like what, like, oh, I couldn't because I had to walk the dog, or, you know, well, it's, you know, it's this time of shut in, so I couldn't get my nails done, or like, what is that? Right. So, and then because now you let me off the hook, now I'm going to let you off the hook. And for me, that just doesn't work. So what's the irrefutable law to prevent me from doing that?
Yeah, I love that. And that is a relevant question. Here's the thing. The relationship you pick to have your accountability partner with a peer. Okay, there's other accountability partners in this factor, but this one, the peer-to-peer accountability partner, you need to find somebody who you have a perpetual relationship on the hierarchy of relationships and the power of influence. Okay, you need to fixate on somebody who has a perpetual relationship with you, not somebody who's going to say, hey, I'll buy your stuff if you buy mine. This is reciprocal, or this is somebody who you expect to just, you know, let you off the hook. Okay. We're talking about someone who you trust and somebody who's kind of, you know, hard head. They're the kind of person that might drive you nuts. This is typically not someone who you absolutely endearingly love. This is somebody who say, no, this person is dying to make me feel miserable. I would love this person to help me feel responsible for the things I've committed. And you trust that person because they're reliable. That's what I would say in response to that.
All right, I got one. I'll let you know. Like honestly, the person right now is my daughter is 22, and like I like one of the like perfect people that if I promise something, I have to live up to it. Like I really, really do. But I just think I'll play small with her. I'll be like, I'm gonna have somebody mow the lawn for us next week. I don't know, like that just doesn't really feel like it accomplished anything. So I'm not sure. Well, I'll have to think it through. I need somebody that's like probably peer-to-peer level that is gonna like. That I'm going to have a respect relationship with. I'm going to have to think it through. All right. What's is that 2? Are we done with 2?
That's 2. We're moving on to 3. And at the end of this, I'll share with you some of the things that we have and why people we can set you up with a good peer accountability partner based on the circle.
I think I might be signing up for your program. This could be
right. It's all based on the circle of influence. And I focus on building relationships at a perpetual level rather than, and you see my hand drop, rather at a reciprocal level. This is a great partnership level. Let's talk about perpetualism. So irrefutable law number 3. Okay. This is what I love telling people that everybody needs. Everybody, and this is why they need you, Kimberly, everybody needs a coach. Professional accountability is vital to high performance and success. Why? All the great legends, all the best of the best, the people who we talk about, the people who we see on the news, these incredible, valuable, high-performing people all have a coach. And you want to look for things like if your coach can measure your processes. Okay, I talk a lot about outcomes and deciding your outcomes. One of my mentors said, outcomes are a series of processes. If you alter your processes, you fix, change, and enhance your outcomes. And you need to find or pick coaches who are willing to give you a program, a system that measures your key performance indicators, the things that actually matter to help you get paid, the things that actually matter to help you build valuable relationships, or even to help you achieve your goals on a daily basis. So think about this. If you're hitting your personal accountability levels on a daily basis, you look yourself in the mirror and you're like, you're dang sexy, you're awesome, you're achieving everything that you achieve, that you say you're going to achieve. And then you've got your accountability partner you file in with, later that day over Marco Polo. And then once a week or once a month, you're checking in with this professional coach who's holding you to a standard level. Think about the exponential power that's causing you to achieve higher levels of performance in your life.
I love it. Very cool. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, I've shared on this group that I know my edges. This is what I say. This is my lane. I'm really good at this. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. And those are the things I hire coaches for. If I want to learn to play golf, I cannot learn for myself. I need a coach to teach me how to play golf, right? I mean, I could go out there and whack a few balls or whatever, but I'm not going to get good and I'm not going to have strength in that area unless I hire myself a coach. And there are other places as well. I mean, I have real strengths in building relationships and growing business in that way. But I don't have, like, I have no strength at all in social media beyond Facebook. And so I actually work with Mercy, who is like my social media maven, and she goes out and does Instagram and Pinterest and all kinds of other stuff. I don't want to learn it. And I like rely on her. Then I have coaches who help me like break through to get to that next level. I have I'm going to be on a TEDx stage. It was supposed to be May 9th. Not going to happen. But we have a TEDx stage, and it's been moved to September, and we're going to be on a TEDx stage. Do you think I have a TEDx coach? Yeah, I actually have 3 TEDx coaches. 3 of them, because it's important in my life, and I want guidance and personal accountability and social accountability, and I need professional help on that particular aspect because I want it to come off as good as possible. So I'm working with people who own the stage, who actually own a TEDx stage. I'm working with somebody who is a professional coach, speaker coach, and also a very, very high-end Toastmasters coach. So yeah, of course, we're going to do that, right? Why not?
Absolutely. That I love that you highlighted that, because here's one thing as we move into irrefutable law number 4, but this is something that you have emulated and embodied through Rocket Fuel Web Summit and everything that you do, Kimberly, because you've created an environment for people to connect with people that makes this experience, this journey, this culture, something that's an expectation. People just by association have to elevate themselves to a higher level or a higher standard due to your connection, your influence. And so I love that. And that brings us into irrefutable law number 4, which is
community,
group accountability. You see this? I'm nailing that word down because accountability is so important, but it is. It is all about community, which through Rocket Fuel, you've created this environment, this culture, this community of people who can come learn and grow and then take immediate action. And so when I talk to people about the irrefutable law number 4, which is group accountability, you can find this through various formats and systems. I tend to lean towards the term masterminds, peer groups, social groups. And then one of my favorites that we just recently launched is called a connecting organization or connecting group.
Okay.
And because of that, you need to find organizations, circles of influence that are strategically designed to help you win. And now let me be specific about this, because there are lots of organizations for networking and connecting, but you need to do your research. You need to do your good turn and realize that not every group was strategically designed to help you win. A lot of them were designed to help other people get paid. So be careful about the people and the groups and the networking events you go to. Just know that you need to go to the regular communities of influence that will give you everything you need to say, I'm personally accountable. I can use my accountability partners, including my professional accountability partner and coach, and everything that I'm doing is going to help me culturally and community-wise feel obligated to own the goals that I'm working towards. Now, I love this because you put all 4 together, and all of a sudden you've got the makings for one of the most perfect accountability systems out there. But it all stems from how you treat yourself, what your inner dialogue is, and how you're going to commit to the ownership that you create for yourself, personal accountability. But I love it because group accountability is one of the highest performing functions out of all of them, but it can't be done if you can't go home and do what you say you're going to do, right?
I love it. Very cool. All right. Well, we might have to start putting something in Rocket Fuel, like, what are your goals for this week? What are your goals for next week? And then like go back and look at them, kind of thing. Yeah, that actually might, I'm looking for a thing for, like, I have something Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, maybe Wednesdays will be like, maybe Fridays. Fridays is a good time to put goals together, right? Fridays. Yep, maybe Friday mornings we'll put that up. Like, what are your goals for next week? And what were your goals for this week? And did you accomplish them? We might have to do that in Rocket Fuel.
And I'm happy to jump into the Facebook page under this section, under the John Kovach's presentation. And I'm happy to even start working with people and just start telling them, hey, this is what you should look at when you're doing your personal accountability goals. When you're picking your if anyone has questions, I can just comment under that section. I'd be
Very cool. All right, awesome. And if you have questions directly, and please put notes in the chat. If you guys have questions, we want this to be as interactive as possible. The notes that we've gotten back have so far, like this whole last like 4 presentations have been like, this is amazing, great content. I'm super happy. Everything's great, and which is great. I'm super happy. Everybody's really pleased out there. But if you have questions, the whole point of having live events like this is so that you can come in and be like, John, I need to know about this. Like, what happens when I blow off my accountability partner 3 weeks in a row? Like, what should I do? And I'd like to actually know the answer to that one because
Yeah.
that happened in my group before. So that might be something that you could answer for us.
Absolutely. Man, I love this. And at the beginning of this session, you introduced me in my bio. I'm the president of a company called Amplified Minds, which we were originally geared and built to do personal one-on-one accountability partnership for people. And I shared that we had done this for the multi-level marketing or network marketing industry.
Mm-hmm.
This for sales industries. And we did this for just a lot of various coaches and speakers as well. And business owner, actually one of my favorite groups was people writing books, people who are becoming authors, right?
Oh, please.
Everyone needs that personal accountability to finish their books, right? And it was one of my favorite groups.
People on this group know that one of my businesses, I'm currently running 3 businesses. I've sold 3 other businesses, and I've had businesses that were mostly just hobbies that were lost leaders as well, right? But 3 that I sold, 3 that I'm currently running. One that I'm currently running is a audiobook publishing company. And so I run into a lot of authors. And you know what they say? I'm 90% done with my book. Yeah, you know what 90% done is? Not done. It's not done. Until it's done, I can't help you. So you have to get it published. You have to put it in and push the publish button, and then it's done. And even if you hate it and you want to change it later and you got like chapter 4 wrong, guess what? With books on demand, you can republish, and then the next book that gets printed is printed with the new information. So hit publish and get it done. But you're right. Accountability for authors is so needed. If you're an author, reach out to John right now and say, I need help finishing my book and I want to be in an accountability group. That'd be awesome. I bet you could hook them up.
And if you do, I will always track this back to Kimberly because this is her influence and her group. I'm so proud to have that. Just wanted to make note of one of the things I touched on, and it's one of the things that I'm most passionate about. And I'm learning. Within the last 3 weeks of just watching communications and preparing for this summit with you, I've learned so much from Kimberly because she's nailed this down way before the curve of the market has ever figured it out. And I want you to know this. This is the secret that you didn't know you had. Maybe you do. Maybe you know. Maybe you're sitting back there and you're like, I know the secret, and we're all just catching up. But here's something that I've noticed about Kimberly and what she's created. So I mentioned in my bio that I'm the founder of a thing called the Champion Circle.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The Champion Circle is what I call a connecting organization or connecting circle. And what connecting circles are all about is they're designed strategically to give you the relationships that turn into profitable partnerships and turning those profits into exponential growth within your life and your business. We mentioned in the comment section, you actually shared it as one of my principles here. Let me read through it here. It was, irrefutable, or no. It was strategically designed to help you win. And that was something that we continually say, because when you find groups of influence, let's say I play tennis every week with a group of people.
Yep.
And that tennis group is a social group, but I shouldn't just go to play tennis. These become my trusted connections, possibly one of my future accountability partners for something, but I've got to think of strategic ways to turn those friendships into exponential partnerships. And we're not talking about you scratch my back, I scratch your back, I buy your products, you buy my products. We're talking about perpetual level of influence, which—
So you've said that a number of times. Let's talk about that. What do you mean perpetual?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So think of this. Let's talk about a pyramid scheme for a minute. No, I'm just kidding. Let's talk about a pyramid, okay? At the bottom of the pyramid, I love using my hands, by the way, so this has been really energetic, and boom, boom, boom.
I like it.
At the bottom of the pyramid, the first layer, the base layer to build this pyramid, okay? Maybe we'll just use triangle, but pyramid's the word that's coming to mind. At the base of this pyramid, you've got to build the foundations. And most people live and sell and market at this level. It's called transaction-based levels of influence.
All right.
Where I don't need to build relationships. I just need to put my stuff out, spam the world, and hopefully I'll catch something.
Oh,
if I cast my net wide enough.
Numbers game.
Exactly. Numbers game. And the world has moved past that, way beyond that. But people still come in, and you know why they come in and still do it? Because it's the easy way out.
Mm.
They're not willing to attack their own personal levels of accountability by saying, hey, I need to be on phones. I need to be building relationships. So that's the bottom. Let's move up the next pyramid set, the next building block, which is the base, the body of the pyramid, what's going to support the tippy top for the rest of its foundations in life. Okay. This is the reciprocal level of influence. Reciprocal level is a partnership, a joint venture, an agreement, whether it contractual or whether it be just unofficial. But this is where I scratch your back, you scratch my back. When I build my relationships at a reciprocal level and then build them up from there, all of a sudden, I have more influence, more action, and more capabilities than I did at the transactional level because I have a relationship instead of just a bunch of buyers. I
Okay.
have buyers, community, I have friends, I have supporters, and I have people who've got my back. So that's where we tell people to build that. Let's talk about that top level, the tippy top that lasts for eternities, okay? The top of these pyramids is a level of perpetual influence. And we know that perpetualism is ongoing, continuous, and something that you tend to rely on, right? If you don't rely on perpetualism, then you're relying on maybe personal agreements. That's where it starts to get relaxed. That's where your accountability partner says, hey, I let you go a couple of weeks. Sorry about that. But brush it off my shoulder. Let's get back on track. Where if you have a perpetual relationship with people and that level of influence, people don't let you slide. People don't let you slide. I often remember the scene, and I'm forgetting the movie, but it's where it's about a football team, and they bring one of the biggest, best players on the football team as a lineman, and they have him do bear crawls. Bear crawls are while you're crawling on all fours, and they say, I'm going to put another athlete on your back, and then you're going to bear crawl blindfolded for 50 yards. And he says, I can do it. But what happens is he ends up bear crawling the entire length of the field onto the track and into the parking lot, and the whole team's cheering him on. This is what I like to tell people as perpetualism. Perpetual level of relationships are the people who don't let you quit even when you've gone past the 50-yard line.
Wow.
And I love that. I love that because it's like, think of your relationships as the most trusted people who will not let you slide. Right?
I love it. Very, very cool. All right. Well, I don't want to run out of time because you've given us so much value, John, really, truly given us a lot of value. And I really, really appreciate that. But I want to get an opportunity for people to hear about how they can work with you next. If now, like, clearly you have programs in place, clearly you have structure and things that we can follow to get us to the next level. You have a program in place that is available to our group for half price. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about that. And it's just to our group. You have to enter a special code and everything. So let's talk about that. That is the 4 Irrefutable Laws of High Performance and Accountability, a 2-day event.
Yeah. And so we will be teaching the irrefutable laws and workshopping with you step by step every area of your life that you need to put in place and create accountability systems for you. We coach you through it. We walk you through it. I do this for free and I do it for money, but I do it all the time to help people because it is irresistibly helpful when you actually have these things in place. It sounds like a lot. It's like, man, I need to have 2 accountability partners. I've got to be going all by myself and I need to be part of social groups. Like, what is this? But it's actually easier than you think, and you can build it into your lifestyle. So let's talk about, we have a 2-day event and we're doing it in June. We're doing it in August.
Are you still planning on having a live event?
We are planning on having a live event. If we cannot due to COVID-19, we will adjust and do something really cool. I have a lot of learning to do from Kimberly on Rocket Fuel, but we are planning on having the live event, and it is most likely that will be held in Salt Lake City. So come visit us and have some fun in Salt Lake City. But I want you guys to know that these Amplified Minds business summits, we workshop with you 2 days in a row on the irrefutable laws, and we teach you on how to put those different structures and influences in your life. Now, at these events too, not only do we workshop with you, teach you walk away having all of these built in and ready to go, action taken, no homework from then on out other than application and action. We teach you how to do that. But what you also get introduced to is these circles, these connection groups that allow you the opportunity to surround yourself with people who won't let you slide, who are dedicated to making you win at all costs, the people who help you take ownership. And we love that because it's a value set of commitment and ownership, back to that personal accountability feature. So we're doing these, and there's 3 options. You can do all 3, but we've given you 3 options, one in June, one in August, and one in October. And as a result of being a part of Rocket Fuel and joining us, if you click the links in which we just put in the comment section, if you click those links and use the keyword Rocket Fuel at checkout, you'll get 50% off of a VIP access, which means, by the way, you don't want anything else other than a VIP, because you're going to be treated like the speakers. You're going to get VIP backroom, green room access. We feed you. And if we go virtual, we will still feed you. I'll explain that later. We have a great connection with some incredible food delivery services. And so we will literally feed you both incredible content, value, workshop, and plausible action that will get you paid and will get you to win at life and in business. So we call this the champion circle methodology. And we just surround yourself with a team, with the people who are going to be relentless about your success and are going to be focused on never letting you slide. So that's what we're doing at these conferences. That's what we're doing at these summits. We do it so that we can teach you. And obviously there's programs built out of that, which is all connected back to this and our friendship with Kimberly, and we'll talk more about that later. But if you get that today, or you get that throughout this weekend, we give it to you half off, and you get full VIP access. You get to meet some of our speakers, which include business flipper and renowned public speaker Levi McPherson. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
got some really cool people. Woody Woodward and a couple famous Olympic athletes will be speaking there, and just a really great mindset development type structure to help you win at life and win at business. So that's really all I wanted to say. It's more of an invitation to get you there, and whether we do it online or in person, we will not let you leave. We will not let you board your plane or go back to your homes until you have all 4 areas, all 4 irrefutable laws inserted and actionably measured in your life. That's what we want to do.
Ooh, I like that. All right. I like it a lot. Okay, great. And then you actually have some books as well. Is that right? So tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, so I told you a little bit about our business, Amplified Minds, and how we started in the accountability industry and have shifted over to these networking, connecting groups, right? But we've done everything from masterminds, retreats, events, accountability coaching. I was one of the original coaches, and I've climbed the ranks. I now run the whole company, but it was a really great place for me to start. But these books are things that we've written over the last 3 years that have measured and have explained and have given people information about every single layer of these accountability principles. Okay. So in the book Mindset, the mindset of a successful seller, that talks a lot about that personal accountability factor. And as you dive into that, you'll see some of the things that we've taken out of the great books. You see in my corner over here, I've got Think and Grow Rich, Mindset, The Power of Habit. Looks like I've got Outliers and
I have to tell you, people were noticing that. They actually were like, I love the iceberg. Jason, I love the iceberg. Can we see all of it? So it was actually, okay, success is the part that you see, but underneath that is the hard work, persistent, late night, rejection, sacrifices, discipline, criticism, doubts, failures, and risk. And that all happens. And then people are like, wow, he's such a success. She's such a success. Well, yeah, but we've been through a lot of shit in order to get there, right? So yeah, that's just the part that people see. It's totally true. That's totally true. I love it.
Yeah, I'll let that sit for a minute. I'll just sit up in my chair a little bit here.
I like it. Very nice.
But
yeah,
absolutely.
I should take a picture of that picture. So we should take I'm going to take a screenshot of it. I'm going to try and do that. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. Awesome. Okay. Maybe I can find it online and post it in Rocket Fuel. That'd be awesome. Okay. We do have a couple of questions in the chat, and I know that we're at time. So if you guys have to head out, I totally get that. But Rita asked a really cool question. How do you find mastermind groups for small niche businesses? And then she says, especially for niches where experts stay to themselves and are not digitally oriented. Very interesting. So maybe they're doctors, or maybe they're, I don't know, like let us know who those are. But what would you recommend for those?
I have 2 recommendations, but the first one I would say is reach out to me individually and I can point you in the right direction. But for the sake of the grand mass of people, these groups exist and you've just got to know where to find them. I oftentimes get introduced to these groups, not by a public display or advertisement or marketing, but by attending groups or circles or social circles within these niches. So for example, a lot of the people I like to hang out with, and Kimberly mentioned this. I like to go golfing a lot, and because of that, I hang out at the country
I'm
club.
terrible at golf. I'm just going to put that out there. It's like my worst thing. Okay, go ahead.
Right, but the people who are there usually have flexible sources of income and job, right? And they're always out playing, they're networking and building business relationships. But anywho, long story short is when I go to these social groups, a lot of times they're the ones saying, oh my gosh, you need to join my book club, or oh my gosh, you need to be in this mastermind that's strictly for doctors. Oh my gosh, you need to meet so-and-so. They're an incredible coach who is specific in helping you finish. You know, it often happens by association. So my goal, my invitation to you is you find these masterminds or these peer groups by attending social circles that meet in those groups. So you can find those on eventbrite.com, meetup.com. Literally, people do this, or you can even reach out and say on Facebook, hey, who are my doctor friends, or fill in the blank of the niche that you're looking for.
All right. And you do have a special gift for our VIPs as well. It's a 3-book accountability package. Is that right? It's ebooks.
That is right. And so we've included 3 ebooks, including all of those together. And then this is something that I have no link for yet, but you will be getting because you filled out the information to get all 3 of those ebooks. Is when you filled out all 3 of those, your information to get all 3 of those ebooks, I'm going to be sending you my copy of Next Gen You, which is a book I'm producing, and it's coming out in the next 2 months. So I'm really excited about that. Wow. But that'll be as a gift to all people. I'll be sending like 100 copies to Kimberly, and then you guys all get the rest. But it's super fun. So that's one of our gifts that we'll be giving. But yes, please go click on each of those links, and you'll get a copy of each of those ebooks.
I think I'm the only person in my generation who's deeply in love with millennials. I think they're just so awesome. I think they're entrepreneurial like none other. I think that the people that are like, yeah, I'm actually not going to go to a job because that's stupid. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it. Like, why would I want to work for you? I think it's a really, really good mindset, and I think they're going to save the world, frankly. All right, so Joy has a question. Thanks for giving, I think it's a question. Thanks for giving a great angle to a proven concept. If my role in an organization changes, any do's or don'ts for passing over accountability to my successor? I guess that's a question. Do you have any suggestions for passing accountability?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you just copy and paste the irrefutable laws and share this with people, you can steal it. You can call it your own, because these are not things that I invented. These are things that I learned from Napoleon Hill, from some of the greats. These are things that I've collected over 5 years of studying networking, relationships, and high performance. But what I would say is just tell people that especially in a corporate sense or in a job position where you're a leader, you're a manager, just know that your successor should have some sort of strategic plan to enforce personal accountability, KPI measurement, as well as having some sort of accountability buddy or professional or partner to check in with that person regularly. I like that better because when you come in as a manager, you're treated like a manager. Managers have a weird relationship with their we'll just say their employees, right? But when you come in as an accountability partner, there's an ownership level to that accelerates your relationship and your commitment to each other. So I've done this with a lot of our employees. My personal assistant and I check in with each other all the time, and we're always focused on each other's goals inside and outside of work, because that really means a lot. And that really is what matters to most people anyways. So absolutely, just pass on the 4 irrefutable laws, but at the basic level, just make sure they have a strategic plan to how they're going to be held accountable and measure their key performance indicators at work or through their official work.
I love it. Well, I am super excited that you were here and able to deliver such amazing content and such a positive attitude. And if you do have that link, please put it in your chat on the string in Rocket Fuel. We would love to contribute, and maybe just a little note about your uncle's wife and the little kids. And hopefully we can get some at least some access to that donation link. That would be great.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And I don't know if I'm going to get arrested for this, but I actually found on Google the success thing that's behind John. So I'm actually posting that in in rocket fuel now because it's totally awesome. I totally love it. And I'll give you credit for actually having the presentation that brought it to life. So thank you very much for that. We are at time and past time, but you were so worth it. Not that all of our speakers are not worth it. You guys are totally amazing. Super happy you hung with us tonight. We are going to run because I got to go before I come back. And I'll be back at the top of the hour. Folks, any final words for our crew, though, before I let you go, John?
Hey, thank you so much. You guys stick around Kimberly. She is ahead of the curve. She knows what she's doing. Rocket fuel is just it is the
tip of the iceberg.
the tip of the iceberg. And you will know this as you follow along and as you watch from home and start to implement these things in your life. And she has surrounded herself with incredible speakers and incredible, valuable relationships. Stick around, Kimberly. She is your absolute go-to girl.
Oh, thanks so much, John. Really great having you. You're amazing. Thanks for showing up in the world the way you do. And positively, I really, really appreciate that. You brought my whole spirits up. You're amazing. Thanks for being here. All right, guys, we're out. We're going to dance out of here. We don't have much more time before the top of the hour comes. Thanks, John.
That was an amazing expert. We're here with Kimberly, who is the rocket fuel from entrepreneurs. She's on a mission to help you launch your business to new heights. Nobody lives out loud better than Kimberly.